Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Faith, and today we're going to be watching Candace Owens reacts to woke college students. If you're new to my YouTube channel, you're highly welcome. Please do subscribe, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And with all that being said, let's just dive right into this video.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Is it me, or are a lot of men acting and looking like sissies these days? I'm being serious. I don't know if it's just because I'm pregnant with a boy and I do tend to be a little more aggressive, but I feel like I could beat up a lot of men today when I look around. Plus, later on in the show, it has been exactly 1 year since I put on the White Lives Matter shirt with Kanye West at Paris Fashion Show. So we are going to put that on, rewind, and reflect. What did I learn from all of that? All that and more today coming up on Candace Owens. All right, let's start with the facts. There have been significant reductions in testosterone levels observed over time. In one study conducted in 2007, they observed that testosterone decreased by about 22% when comparing 1985 levels to those from 2002. That is significant, 22%. In another study that was conducted in 2021, researchers found a roughly 25 decrease in testosterone levels between 1999 and 2016. That is a tremendous decrease in testosterone levels. So there can be no doubt that your grandfather and his father had higher testosterone levels than you, assuming that you are a male living in today's society. So why is that? I don't know why. I won't be able to answer that. A lot of people have their own theories. Some people think it's the food. Some people think it's the things that are being sprayed on the crops. Other people have other theories. What I will say is that never became more clear to me than when I was watching a documentary, which I really recommend that every person watches. It was on Netflix, but it was amazing. It was called World War II in Color, and they essentially went back and they had all the footage from World War II and just colorized it as they told the story. And they did a very good job. It was apolitical, so apolitical, in fact, that as I was watching this documentary, and I never cry, but I was really boohoo crying watching this, because suddenly you could really see the faces of those individuals, those soldiers, and you cried for the German soldiers, you cried for the American soldiers, you cried for the Japanese soldiers, because it became apparent how young they were. You know, you're talking about men that were 18 years old, knowing that they were going to die for their country. When I say knowing, you're talking about the Japanese young men that were going on suicide missions. Do you imagine that? You are going out and you know that today is going to be the day that you die. It's incomprehensible. And then they told the story of the Battle of Midway, and they honed in on these pilots who were going out and they were flying, knowing that they did not have enough fuel to get them back. So you imagine these young American pilots, 18, 19, 20, knowing that they did not have enough fuel to get back. Again, incomprehensible to imagine the bravery that these young men had. And then you think about the women who were sending their sons. I can't imagine sending my son at the age of 18, knowing for certain that he's going to die, right? Women were stronger back then. Men were stronger back then, and they looked it. Go look at the photos of those 18-year-olds who served in World War II. They look like men, right? You can see their boyish features and their boyish eyes, but they look bigger than the 18-year-olds that we are producing today. Which brings me to something that I do every year, multiple times a year. I visit college campuses, and I just want to give myself a pat on the back for being able to stand there and to do it right now, especially I am 8 months pregnant, having to sit into this room and to deal with people, not people who are going out knowing if they don't have enough fuel to get home, going out knowing if they're going to die for their country, but people that think it's an act of bravery to have to listen to a conservative speak. Oh my God, I feel so sad for these people. How am I going to be able to sit here and listen to a conservative speak? It always makes me angry, actually, when I see the individuals, the adults, the young adults that we are producing today, because I think about that. I think about the past, which is so recent, really, in our American history, our very short American history. And then I compare them to these individuals who I speak in front of, and then they get the courage to ask me a question. They stand up and they try to have what they believe is their Martin Luther King moment. They're going to say something strong and assertive to Candace Owens. It's going to be an I have a dream speech. It happens over and over again. Well, yesterday I visited a campus up in Albany, New York, and as was to be expected, I had a very short fuse with these children because I'm not here to raise you. I don't know why you turned out this way. I don't know why you think that it's an act of bravery to ask a conservative a question or to insult a conservative. But I was required to answer these individuals for about 30 minutes, and it was just incredible how many people from the queer community had something to say to me. Take this young woman as an example. Take a listen.
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who actively feel victimized by your presence here today? Additionally, you just pointed out that this man detransitioned, but earlier in your speech...
Guys, I want to hear her. Go ahead. What do I have to say? Just the question, please. No speech. What is the question?
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who feel actively victimized by your presence here?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this.
Oh my goodness.
Next question. My goodness. Seriously, somebody just give out free hugs or something somebody give out free hugs. I can't be your mommy, okay? I'm too pregnant. I can't be your mommy.
Over and over again, I was being asked to be their mommies. They want to talk about their feelings. They don't have any facts. They just want to talk about how they feel. And they're coming to these college campuses to be coddled. That's what's going on. People are spending upwards to $60,000 per year to be coddled in their various identities and the things that they want to say. There's another example. So that girl was just victimized by my presence. What do I have to say? I'm victimized by you just being here, holding a mic and speaking. Well, this woman was much bolder in her assertion that she knew exactly who she was. Take a listen.
As a non-binary person, what do you have to tell me about my identity? Because I know for a fact I'm not confused.
Okay, next question. Great statement.
Oh, good.
That's a statement. That's a statement. Okay, you know your identity. You're not confused. Congratulations, sweetheart. Thank you very much for your statement.
What was she looking for there? What did she expect me to say? Why would I care? If she's so confident in exactly who she is, why is she snarling at me to stand up and tell me that? Go live your best life. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I mean that. Then, of course, came a guy who asked a very long question because, like I said, they all think that they're having a brave moment that's going to circulate on the internet and they're going to be seen as a hero to the queer community. And he even prepared a special shirt for me to wear. Yes, you're not going to see it in this clip, but underneath his sweatshirt, he did some art. And he wore a shirt that said F you, and he had one of his friends recording it because so brave to do artwork when Candace Owens comes to speak and to hide an F you shirt underneath your sweatshirt. Take a listen to what he had to say.
My question isn't specifically about anything you really said tonight, although I don't really agree with anything you said.
Okay.
I'm proudly part of the LGBTQ community. I've always stood up for my community whenever I needed to. I want to focus specifically on, I've been listening to you for a little bit just to understand some things. A live stream you did about Pride Month in June on Facebook because you were no longer allowed on YouTube. The event that you were talking about, I actually had the honor of attending that event with a lot of my really close friends, and I found it very perplexing to me how you choose to only focus on the things that are negative when it comes to the queer community.
I'm sorry, when it comes to what community?
The queer community.
Okay.
Do you not realize that people like you and people like the people you're around and that, continue to have this idea of us are the reason we feel that we have to be so openly proud of who we are? Your demented homophobic and transphobic rhetoric and rants just further prove our point that we have to fight loudly to be respected. The reason that LGBTQIA plus suicide rates are so high in this country isn't just because we're part of the community. It's because there are people like you who make us feel like we don't belong. The only LGBTQ agenda we have is
okay. Is there a question in there or a speech?
Yes.
You got to ask a question, buddy. I know you wrote this out in your notes, but ask a question. Let's go.
How do you think other people who, with your beliefs, respond to the fact that your hateful and harmful rhetoric costs the lives of queer children every single day, on average, every 45 seconds.
Okay, so this is just going to be a pure boogeyman. You're pretending that someone committed suicide because of Candace Owens. You've got no facts here. You're just going, it's your rhetoric that's causing all of this.
So I really wish I could show you here on YouTube what I responded to this young man, but you know how the world works. You are allowed to insult. You're even allowed to assault heterosexual people. You're allowed to step to the plate and accuse them of increasing suicide rates absent any data. You can call them demented. You can call them homophobic. You can call them transphobic. All that is allowed. But us issuing a rebuttal of any sorts, no, that would be harassment. So if you would like to see what I responded to this young man, you can head over to X or to Daily Wire Plus for the uncensored response. I very much disagreed with all that he said, and I answered him with something that I hope transformed him, but I know didn't, because instead what he opted to do, because he's so horrified by my rhetoric, is he took off his sweatshirt and revealed a shirt, as I said, which read, F you. Kind, accepting. Love is love. All of this to say, it thoroughly depresses me when I visit college campuses today, when I see the state of manhood and the state of womanhood. And I hope that you understand why. When you look at these individuals and you see what they deem to be acts of bravery and acts of glory, and you weigh it against the heroes of the past, it's depressing. I don't know what's happening with young men and young women, but I do know that we can attribute a lot of it to a crisis in parenting. And if we examined their households, the households that produce these young children, we would get a lot of answers. You know, this is what I've been talking about over and over again. Children need to be raised by stable and strong parents who are not encouraging them to believe that everything that they do is special, that everything that they say is rational. Rather, we need parents to return to actual parenting. And that's what it feels like when I go on college campuses. I feel like I am being asked to be everybody's mommies and daddies. And I'm happy to do it. I have a few more stops coming up, one in Buffalo, one in Georgia. There will always be protesters. They exist there. In conclusion, I will restate that I don't know what is contributing to the drop in testosterone rates, but I'm observing it absolutely everywhere. And there's no doubt that in the Western world, we are facing a crisis of a shortage of masculinity. We don't need less masculinity, far be it from what the feminists have told us about toxic masculinity. We need more of it. And that's all I have to say about that.
Wow, guys, that was one interesting program to watch on Candy Owen reacts to woke college students. I really enjoyed her speech. I enjoyed the way she handled things with the kids. I really enjoyed it. It was super fun to watch, and we really need to straighten up our parenting, bring up kids in the right way, and stop confusing them. Honestly speaking, I am totally against LGBTQ. I don't know what you all there have to say, but I am personally against it. I don't know why someone would be born into a particular gender and you confuse the child into believing that he is not part of that gender, like he is some other kind of identity. It doesn't work that way. Like, why would you want to confuse a child like that? Because I don't believe a kid would just wake up and choose such paths without the guidance of their parents. Because the parents allowed it, the parents nurtured such thoughts in their hearts, and that is why they turned out that way. You can leave whatever comment you have in the comment section, whatever you have to say, but I'm just airing my own kind of opinion, what I think about it. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, you're highly welcome. Please do subscribe, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye bye.